is Jeopardy! Today's contestants are an actor from Los Angeles, California, Corey Rittmaster, a curling enthusiast from Portland, Oregon, Jim Schneider, a lawyer from Toronto, Ontario, Jordan Stewart, and our returning champions, a learning coordinator from Pahrump, Nevada, Amanda Arcio, whose one-day cash winnings total $10,800, a playwright from Toronto, Ontario, Bradley Hayward, whose one-day cash winnings total $16,001, a curling professional from Toronto, Ontario, Brian Chick, whose one-day cash winnings total $21,700. Now, here is the host of Jeopardy, Eric Reithel.
Thank you, Steve. That was really nice. Big into the game. Yeah, Brian, Bradley, and Amanda are back. Again, to explain for those of you who may not know, if you win a game and you're a champion, you're not beholden to this game with your schedule. So the three of them have each previously won a game, and this is the first time all three have had the chance to come back to defend their championship. As for Jordan, Corey, and Jim, they are challenging them, hoping to start a winning streak of their own. So let's just go ahead and jump into the game and see how it all plays out. Dollar values go in, and players, here are your round one categories. We have a whole category of visual clues. All of these visuals are found at the Smithsonian National Postal Museum. Musical numbers, geographic formations, come together, crime, rhyme, and finally, Hearst story. These are headlines from Hearst-owned newspapers in the past. Brian, you had the highest total from your one-game win, so you get to start us off.
Oh, how about geographic formations for 1,000?
To the bottom. Up to 750 feet high. The highest sand dunes in the U.S. are in the Great Sand Dunes National Park in this Rocky Mountain state. Brian?
What is Colorado?
Correct.
Dang, what a guess. Geographic formations 800.
The remnants of an ancient lake. These U.S. salt flats are often used to set land speed records. Brian.
What is Bonneville?
The Bonneville salt flats, yes.
600.
All right, you found it early, but it's a clue just for you. You've got 1,800. How much do you want to risk?
Let's risk it all. Why not?
Oh, a true daily double. All right, Brian, the clue here just for you. Canada's Manicouagan Reservoir was formed by an asteroid impact 200 million years ago, and because of its shape, is often called the eye of this province.
I think, what is Manitoba?
No, that would actually be Quebec. So you're back down to 0, nothing venture, nothing gained. We start. We're at.
Keep going, 400.
Most of Norway's western coastline is made up of these steep, narrow inlets created by glacial erosion. Amanda.
River fjords?
Correct.
Let's do with crime rhyme 1,000.
Unlawfully lingers outside the offices of that British news agency. Brian.
What is loiters at Reuters?
Correct.
Crime rhyme 800.
Responsibility for that sudden, unprovoked attack. No one? And that is an assault fault. Brian, back to you.
Crime rhyme 600.
The illegal killing of the guy who moves the cattle. Jim.
What is herder murder?
Correct. Ain't we having fun?
Let's try musical numbers for 200.
Don't Want to Know by Maroon This, featuring Kendrick Lamar. Jordan.
What is 5?
Correct.
I have to go back to crime rhyme for 200.
A cantaloupe that's the perpetrator of a serious misdeed. Brian.
What is melon felon?
Yes.
Crime rhyme 400.
Stealing that little indentation in someone's chin. Jordan.
What's cleft theft?
Correct.
Can we just do a game of those? That make me so happy. Musical numbers for 400.
This K Magic by Bruno Mars. Jordan.
What's 24?
Correct.
Musical numbers for 6.
This Inch by Beyonce. No one? Jordan, you made it in time.
What's 6?
6 Inch, yes.
Musical numbers for 8.
Heathens by This Pilots. Jim.
What is 21?
Correct.
Let's finish on musical numbers, please.
Summer This by Drake. No one? And that is Summer 16. All right, Jim, we're next.
Let's go to the Smithsonian for 200, please.
All right, take a look, players. Visitors to the museum are greeted by a statue of this first Postmaster General in the foyer. Corey.
Who is Benjamin Franklin?
That's him, and that gets you on the board at 200 and brings us to our first commercial break. We're back in just a few. All right, when we last left off, Corey, you had given us the last response correctly to get on the board, so it's your board. Where do we go?
Let's keep going there. 400 in the Smithsonian.
All right, take a look again. In the early days, snow was no problem for rural letter carriers who converted this Ford model into a snowmobile. Jordan.
Model T?
Form of a question?
What's the Model T?
Correct.
Forgive my casual style.
How dare.
Come together 200.
Etymological term for a gathering with a specific purpose, like a spelling competition. Corey.
What is a bee?
Correct.
Smithsonian for 600.
Take a look again. Beginning in the 1850s, a machine like this one was used to put these holes between stamps for easier separation. Jordan.
What are perforations?
Correct.
Come together 400.
The name of this type of banquet that's often accompanied by entertainment is Hawaiian for young taro tops. Corey.
What is a luau?
Yep.
Let's just stay here because I seem to be getting these ones right. Come together for 600.
This meal served at the beginning of Passover celebrates the Israelites' liberation from bondage. Brian.
What is a Seder?
Correct.
Come together 800.
Based on a character in the Lil Abner comic strip, a Sadie Hawkins dance has this main feature. Corey.
What is the females are asking? The girls ask the boys.
Yes, any variation on that is correct.
I don't know. Come together for 1,000.
This word for a religious festival devoted to a saint precedes Spain's de Saint Fermin.
Oh, Lordy.
And that is simply a fiesta, the Fiesta de Saint Fermin. All right, Corey, back to you.
Smithsonian for 800.
The character seen here made his public debut in January of 1963 to remind Americans to add this to each address. Corey.
What is the zip code?
Correct, that's Mr. Zip.
And continue for 1,000.
Take a look. Here's one of the rare U.S. airmail stamps known as this inverted biplane because of a printing error. And that is the inverted Jenny. All right, Corey.
Geographic formations for 2.
The triangular Deccan Plateau makes up most of the south of this nation, including Andhra Pradesh. Jordan,
India?
one more question again?
What's India?
Yes.
I'm,
Respectfully, that is your last warning, Jordan.
I'm saying it every time.
I'm not hearing it. I'm sorry. Articulated. It might just be a mic issue. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Her story for 200.
Sure thing. The Albany Times Union, April 16th, 1912. 436 on Carpathia comprise all who were saved from this disaster. Brian.
What is Titanic?
Yes.
Her street, 1,000.
The Los Angeles Examiner, August 20th, 1953. This man reveals sex life of women. Brian?
Who is Hugh Hefner?
No? Anyone else? Amanda?
Is it Kenzie? Kinsey?
Kinsey, yes.
Same for 800.
The Boston American, July 31st, 1942. Reds halt Nazis at this Russian city, as it was called then. Jim?
What is Stalingrad?
Correct. Now known as Volgograd, I think is how you pronounce that. You're born.
600, please.
The Seattle Post-Intelligencer, April 30th, 1975. Vietnam War is over. This city, as it was called then, surrenders. Brian?
What is Saigon?
Correct. Now known as Ho Chi Minh City.
400.
The New York Journal American, October 29th, 1956. This pop star would quit singing if he aided delinquency. Jim?
Who's Presley?
Elvis, yes. And that takes you up to 2,600. That takes us into round two. Bradley, you will get to pick first then, and we're back in 2 minutes. Jordan, I'm so sorry if it is a mic issue. Literally, all I'm hearing is you just shout the answer, and I'm like, what's going on? You're better than
That's
that.
fine, but I was just like, okay, attitude, I'm saying it. You're not hearing it, and that's fine. Don't talk to me about warnings.
I'm just being fair. I apologize if I offended you.
Please. You're going to have to try a heck of a lot harder than that to offend me.
Oh, all right. Well, here goes round two. All right, double Jeopardy time now. Dollar values double. Bradley, you get your first pick in round two of these categories. We've got Netflix, 20th century novels, Nixon's enemies list, patron saints, the telltale heart, and finally, Hatbox, the letters H-A-T coming up somewhere in each correct response.
Let's go Hatbox for 4.
Take a look. Fans at the game scene here know a player has just accomplished this. Brad.
What is a hat trick?
Yes. Obviously that being hockey.
800 Hatbox.
Commercial setting where Rhode Island Reds might be born. Jim.
What is a hatchery?
Correct.
Hatbox for 1,200.
The USS Monitor sank off this East Coast promontory on New Year's Eve, 1862. No one? And that is Cape Hatteras. Jim.
Hatbox for 1,600.
Meaning the hope. It's the national anthem of Israel. Corey?
What is Hatikva?
Yes.
2,000.
This ancient Egyptian queen erected granite obelisks at Karnak, one of which is still standing. No one? And that is Hatshepsut. Corey, back to you.
It wasn't Cleopatra.
It was not.
Let's go Netflix for 400.
In a 2004 film, tennis players Kirsten Dunst and Paul Bettany fall in love while competing in this Grand Slam event. Jordan.
What is Wimbledon?
Yes.
Oh, the Telltale Heart for 1,200.
One of the most common symptoms of a heart attack is this discomfort in the chest, from the Greek for strangling. Amanda.
What is the angina?
Yes.
20th century novels for 800.
Mrs. Wolfe, about Virginia, is one section of this timely Michael Cunningham novel. Bradley.
What is the hours?
Yes.
1,200 novels.
Trotter is the last name of the title boy in this book by Roald Dahl. Jim?
What is Charlie and the Chocolate Factory?
No. Anyone else? Amanda?
Is James and the Giant Peach?
Correct.
Bucket, Charlie Bucket.
Thank you.
Telltale Heart for 2,000.
I'm sorry, Amanda, say again, please.
A Telltale Heart for 2,000.
You got it. An irregular heartbeat may be caused by an imbalance of these ions that conduct current, such as sodium. And those are electrolytes. All right, Amanda, back to you.
1,600, same category.
Take a look, players. Palpitations accompanied by dizziness and shortness of breath may indicate a problem with these parts of the heart, such as the aortic and pulmonary ones that permit blood flow in only one direction. Bradley.
What are valves?
Yes.
Telltale Heart 800.
Atherosclerosis, the buildup of plaque on the walls of these blood vessels, has no symptoms until it's advanced. Ori.
What are arteries?
Correct.
Let's go Netflix for 800.
Pat and Mike stars Spencer Tracy as sports promoter Mike. She's Pat, pro golf and tennis champ. Corey.
Who is Katharine Hepburn?
That's her.
Netflix for 1,200.
Tennis pro Jonathan Rhys-Meyers is smitten with Scarlett Johansson in this Woody Allen film with a tennis term title. Bradley.
What is Match Point?
Correct.
1,600 Netflix.
In Hitchcock's Dial M for Murder, ex-tennis pro Ray Milland hatches a plot to kill his wife, played by her. Bradley.
It was Grace Kelly.
Yep.
2,000 Netflix.
And you have found Daily Double in this round. You've moved up quite nicely from last to tied for first. 5,600. Brad, how much do you want to risk?
2,000.
2,000. All right. And this clue is just for you. Here it is. In this Hitchcock film, Robert Walker wants to swap murders with tennis pro Farley Granger.
What is Strangers on a Train?
That's it. Nice job. And you move into the lead, and it's your board. Where next?
Novels 400.
The title of this Aldous Huxley novel comes from a line of Miranda's in The Tempest. Bradley?
What is Brave New World?
Yep.
1,600 novels.
This 1969 novel says, his reward, the respectful title of Don, and sometimes the more affectionate salutation of this. Brian?
What is Godfather?
Correct.
Patron Saints 400.
Legend says he drove the snakes out of Ireland. Brian?
Who is St. Patrick?
Correct.
Patron Saints 800.
Patron saint of animals and Italy, in 1979, he was proclaimed the patron saint of ecology as well. Amanda?
Who's St. Francis of Assisi?
That's him.
20th century novels for 2,000.
This novel by Czech writer Milan Kundera was first published in French as Le Soutenable Légèreté des Lettres. No one? Hopefully it was not my French that got you on that one, but that is The Unbearable Lightness of Being. Amanda, back to you.
Telltale Heart for 400.
Arrhythmia of the heart may be diagnosed by an EKG, short for one of these. Jim?
What is echocardiogram?
No. Anyone else? Corey?
What is electrocardiogram?
Electrocardiogram, yes.
Nixon's enemies list for 800.
This flamboyant New York Jets quarterback made the list. Corey?
Who is Joe Namath?
That's him.
Nixon's list for 1200.
Reporter James Reston of the New York Times was on the list, along with Stanley Carno of this DC paper. Brian?
What is the Washington Post?
Correct.
Nixon's enemies 1600.
Maxwell Dane made it for helping create ads that defeated this 1964 GOP presidential nominee. No one. And that is Barry Goldwater. Brian, back to you.
Nixon's enemies 2000.
And you have found the other daily double. 4,800 solidly in the center of the pack. You can make a move to catch Bradley in the lead with 8,000 if you want.
2000.
All right, 2,000. Here's your clue. You just knew this Oscar-winning actress who took an infamous trip to Asia in 1972 would be on the list.
Who is Elizabeth Taylor?
No, that's Jane Fonda.
Uh,
Yeah. All right, down to 2,800. You're bored.
Patron Saint 2000.
As the first person in the New World to be canonized, she's the patron saint of the Americas and of Peru in particular. And that is Saint Rose of Lima. Brian.
Patron Saint 1600.
This gospel writer is the beloved patron saint of physicians. And that is Saint Luke. Brian?
Patron Saint's 1200.
This dragon slayer is a patron saint of Boy Scouts. Brian?
Who is St. George?
Correct. And now the last clue for 400 on Nixon's enemies list we have. One enemy was Hollywood executive Arnold Picker of UA, this movie studio. Jordan.
What is United Artists?
That's it. And with that, you move up to 3,600 in a very, very tight game. Quite the solid spread between Bradley in the lead with 800 and Jim in sixth with 1,800. It all, of course, comes down to Final Jeopardy and this category, players. Classic rock songs. Yeah, send me your wagers. Clue in a moment. Final Jeopardy category today, players, classic rock songs. Remember to write your response in the form of a question to this clue. Jonathan Cain was a struggling musician when his father told him to keep at it and never give up, inspiring this three-word 1981 title. 30 seconds. Good luck. Down. Time is up. Jim, we're going to start with you. You were in sixth place with 1,800. What did you get?
What is Don't Stop Believing?
Yeah, of course it was. Nice job. And you risked 600, so that takes you up to 2,400 as we come over to Jordan, 3,600. Jordan, what'd you get?
Oh, hang on. I can't see if I've got it on. Hold on. Sorry. I always hide my self view.
Don't Stop Believing is correct. And keeping with your wonderful theme of whimsical wagers, 32, 32. And so that'll take you up to 68, 32 as we come over to Brian. Brian Chick, one of our three returning champions. What'd you get?
I had Hold the Line. You're an absolute blank.
Unfortunately not. And that's going to cost you everything. So you're down to zero as we come over
Oh,
to
no.
Amanda, our second number three champions. What'd you get, Amanda?
Can you see it?
What is Don't Stop Believing? I absolutely do see it. And I also see that you double up with a perfect wager to 9,200 as we come up to Corey. Corey, 6,800. What'd you get?
Are you seeing that? There we go. Don't stop believing.
How did I
Don't stop. Yes. Bring it down just a little. There you go. Yeah, I got it. Don't stop believing. And you risked everything to double up yourself to 13,600. Bradley, our last returning champion, 8,000 and the lead. What did you get?
What is Don't Stop Believing?
That is
I
absolutely.
wasn't sure if you'd go for the G or not. So.
I did not, and it doesn't matter. And you get 5,700, so you will gain up to 13,700 and stay as now our sole returning champion with a running total of $29,701. Nice job, Brad.